So welcome back. Let us now begin another section of this course, and that is about practicing systems thinking. In this section, we shall first talk about the significance or the importance of a leader in a corporate organization, and then we shall talk about why should leaders be systems thinkers. Why is systems thinking so important for a leader? And once we understand that, then we shall talk about how can leaders practice systems thinking. So let us talk about the significance of leaders first. Try and understand this. You see, in a corporate organization, even if 3 or 4 people are working together, then one among them will be a leader, or one among them has to perform as a leader who will coordinate the work of others, and he will also report to the higher ups and also take orders from the higher ups, all right, the directions. And similarly, if 3 or 4 teams are working together, then of course each team will have a leader, but collectively for all the teams together there has to be another leader who may be called as the department head. He will do the same thing at the department level what the team leaders are doing at the team level, all right. And then if there are a few departments working together to constitute a vertical, then apart from each department head, to coordinate the work of all these departments, there has to be a head of the vertical, another leader, all right. And then if there are several verticals together forming an organization, then again they will be headed by a leader who may be called as the CEO or the MD or the chairman, whatever, all right. So that is how an organization is formed. At the smallest level, it may be a team with a team leader, and gradually it builds up with a leader at every level till you have a leader for the organization as such. One leader for the organization. So what we understand from this is that, the team leader at the smallest level, he is a leader of a few workers. But on the other hand, he is a follower of the department head. And similarly, the department head may be a leader of a few teams, but he becomes the follower of the vertical head. And the head of the vertical may be leading a few departments, but on the other hand, he becomes the follower of the organization head. The organization head, that is the CEO, may be a leader of the company, but then he becomes follower of the group of companies, the chairman. He may become a follower of the chairman, right? Similarly, the chairman of the organization or a group of companies, he may be a leader of his own group of companies, but at the industry level, he becomes a follower of the sector, and so on, all right? So what we are trying to say is that every leader is a follower at some level, right? Now this statement is not important for this course. You may debate on this statement, we can do that later, but it is not important at the moment. What is important is to know this aspect, that every follower may be a leader at some level. Whatever capacity you may be working in your organization, you are a leader at some or other level. Now, this statement is very important for us in context of this course, all right? So, what is it that a leader is expected to do at his or her level? What role or a purpose would you serve as a leader? Basically, every leader at his or her level has to do a few things. What are those? The first thing is that a leader has to provide vision, direction, and alignment that will inspire and mobilize people towards achieving a common goal. So basically, a leader acts like a shepherd who will channelize all the people under him, all the sheep under him, towards a common goal, a common purpose. All right. And then a leader has to see the bigger picture. He has to anticipate change and take decisions amidst uncertainty. You see, at your own desk level as a worker, you may just see what is at your desk, but a leader has to see the overall bigger picture, and he has to anticipate what is coming next. And then in uncertain situations, he has to take decisions. When things are very certain, when things are very clear, anybody can take decisions. But when there is ambiguity, when there is uncertainty, you require a leader to take a decision. And the third thing is that a leader has to foster growth, accountability, and innovation. If you cannot do these things, if you cannot hold yourself responsible, and if you cannot pinpoint the responsibilities of your subordinates, then you cannot be a leader. So what is it that sets a leader apart from others? What is so special about a leader? The first thing is the ability to think systematically. A leader has the ability to think in a systematic manner, not a linear manner. All right. And then a leader has to make tough decisions. Easy decisions, simple decisions, everybody can take. But when tough decisions are required to be made, then you require a true leader with guts. All right. And then a leader has to influence others beyond his formal authority. Within the authority, everybody can influence others. If you are the head of the organization, if you are the CEO, if you are, you say, the department head, then you give some orders to your subordinates, they have to obey it. Within your authority, they have to do it. But if you can make them do things beyond your authority, if you can influence them beyond your authority, then you are a true leader. That is what, people say that in armed forces, you have true leaders. Why are army officers or the forces officers are called as leaders? Because, you can order your men within your authority to go up to the battlefield. That you can do within your authority. But to fight and lay down their lives, for that you have to influence those men beyond your authority. That is where true leadership comes in. All right. And then a leader has to take responsibility for shaping the future of the organization. If you are just one of the mill worker, you are just working at your desk, then you are not a true leader. You have to take the responsibility for shaping the future of the organization at whatever level you are. Within your sphere of work, you have to take the responsibility of shaping the future. All right. So if you have understood this, if you have understood the significance or the importance of a leader, then in the next lesson we shall try and see that why leaders should practice systems thinking. All right.